Recession is a pretty damn scary time for e-commerce brands, but do you know what's scarier? It's not knowing what even takes place during a recession. Now, I've been doing e-commerce for such a long time now, I can't really say that I personally went through the last recession, which was while doing e-commerce, which was quite some time ago. I was still too busy going to school during that time, but I can safely say that for the past couple of months, we can sort of qualify ourselves, our US economy, as within a recession, and I'm already seeing the effects with my e-commerce brand in terms of sales, overall advertising costs, and so on and so forth, and big changes are taking place. So by the end of this video, if you still till the end, you're gonna know exactly what happens to an e-commerce brand, your e-commerce brand. It might already be happening during a recession and what you can personally do about it. So exactly what happens during a rough time period like this? In essence, all of the important metrics, all of the important factors which drive our e-commerce brands negatively get impacted during a recession. And I'm seeing these impacts across not only my own e-commerce brands, but also my clients' e-commerce brands under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, which if you're currently doing $30,000 or more per month in revenue, you're needing a little bit of extra help scaling to the next level with Google Ads, maybe because of the recession you're unable to, or you just don't know what the reason is, go onto my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can possibly work together and make that happen. But a lot of these metrics like the ROAS, the overall cost per purchase, all of this is getting negatively impacted. Let's first of all start understanding on a very broad level what happens. So things like costs start to go up significantly during a recession. I mean, just recently I've been looking at my product sourcing costs go through the roof downwards, not really upwards. And that's because my suppliers, or majority of the suppliers for the e-commerce brands I'm working with, have started to cut the prices of their products. Why? Because they're not able to sell as much of their products as they once used to. Just there's no demand for it basically, or it's very lower amount of demand than what it used to be previously. And as a result, they're just stuck with this bunch of inventory within their warehouses that they need to get rid of, because again, it's not free to just leave all of these items collecting dust within the warehouses. So product sourcing costs are starting to go down. But before you get too happy knowing that, keep in mind advertising costs at the same time are starting to go up. I know it's weird because during a recession, a lot of e-commerce brands actually cut down their advertising expense. However, still advertising costs are going up significantly. Like for example, if we just go on over to this specific ad account right here and take a look at what's happening in the last 30 days alone and compare it to the previous time period, we can see exactly what's going on. So advertising costs here has actually gone down because again, I'm cutting my advertising expenses. However, now if we take a little bit of a broader approach and look at all of my e-commerce brands all combined together right here on this specific area. So if we go right here to the account section and just take a very deep, broad view, we can see exactly what's happening to the advertising costs. So again, a lot of these e-commerce brands are actually starting to cut off their advertising expense. Overall, it's starting to go up. Like this, for example, the clicks went up for majority of the e-commerce brands and cost is up. Now, keep in mind that there was nothing different done in terms of the strategies for all of these e-commerce brands. The cost is just basically going up on its own, maybe because now Google Ads has to work extra hard to find a buying intent audience, because the people that used to buy before, the buying intent, it was much higher than it is right now. More people are saving money, more people are not wanting to purchase anything online. So what they're doing is they're doing more of window shopping. So because of that, your advertising expenses, it's actually starting to go up while your ROAS right here, the last column, it's actually starting to go down. So it's a bit weird. You might think that, maybe the strategies were changed, hence why the ROAS is going down. But the case is, it might be the situation for one brand or two brands or maybe three brands, but 8 different accounts. Mostly the overall broader view is that everything is starting to go down. That's just the reality of how things are right now. The advertising cost is going up and the ROAS is going down. Now, keep in mind, this is not just for Google Ads. Regardless of what advertising platform you're using, you might be facing a very similar issue. And as a result, obviously the ROAS column we looked at, but your profitability is taking a very big hit. That's just the unfortunate kind of overall view of how things are going right now. For example, conversion value actually went up in the last 30 days, but ROAS is down. And advertising cost is up much higher than what it should be. So these are not really good signs. I mean, if you look at the fact that overall things just don't look too good with the profitability, it's not really good to be spending more money. It's not necessarily good to even get a higher conversion value. I think that comes at a very big cost of your ROAS officially dropping. So again, we're seeing that happen way too often. But now, moving on to the ad side of things, Google ads, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, doesn't matter what you're looking at. This is sort of like a widespread problem, and that is overall in terms of the metrics going up and down. So let's start off with the first metric, the impressions right here. So impressions during a time period like this, they may go up or they may go down if you are actually cutting off the ad spend. So right here for this ad account, in the last 30 days alone, for the entire account itself, the impressions went down by 40%. Now, on these two campaign side of things, it's a much different story, but on the account level as a whole, the impressions are down 43%. That's often what happens because there are lower number of individuals in the market who are looking to buy products. They might be window shopping, but even that comes dwindling down significantly during a recession. In addition, what follows with that is your overall CTR. Now, in this case, the CTR for the actual campaign is starting to go down because these are the main campaigns running at this moment. In addition to that, if you look at the overall clicks, it has gone up. However, the CTR has gone down significantly. That's just how things are working right now. It's because there's lower high quality buyers. So what happens is more and more people might be clicking. So your CTR might actually be okay, might be even great, but the reality is they're not purchasing. So your overall ROAS, your overall conversions, and all of that stuff is actually starting to go down much more often. So if we look at now the last 14 days, we can actually see this in action. So the impressions are going down as well as the clicks. But again, conversions, actual conversion. So quality of buyers, quality of the clicks, it's actually down. That's why it's minus 21. The cost per conversion, another thing that goes up significantly, it's up %. This is again insane because we're actually getting more clicks now. We're getting more impressions. So things should be looking a bit better. But in reality, it's going up more and more, cost per conversion up, because again, lower quality buyers. And as a result, your search impression shares, it starts to go up instead of down. And that's because there's more low quality buyers in the market, and Google thinks those low quality buyers, maybe somebody in that low quality buyer list wants to buy your product. As a result, Google starts showing your ad more and more often to these individuals, these folks, but in reality, it's low quality people. It's not high quality. So your search impression share might go up. Even your click share might go up because the more people are clicking on your ads, but your ROAS and your main essential metrics are starting to go down. So it's really an unfortunate situation here because everything looks to be positive. You're getting more clicks, your CTR is high, all of that good stuff. But what should be positive is the ROAS. But you might see this happening more and more often. Again, you're not alone. It's the side effects of the recession. So now that we cover the main issues, what does this mean for you exactly and what should you be doing about it? So first things first, here is what I recommend to you. Build a brand that relies on what you already have instead of just focusing on your metrics on the ad side of things. Because, I get it. It's fun to run these ads. It's really ideal and a good situation to be getting cold traffic profitability day in and day out. I mean, that's the dream, right? Any e-commerce store owner wants to achieve that. But in a recession, that becomes extremely hard to do. And that's just the side effects of a recession. It doesn't have to do with your product going out of demand or anything like that. It's just what's going on in the world right now. So focus on your existing customers right now that you have. Focus on your existing emails. Focus on your existing fans. Those are gonna keep you going during a recession like this. And also focus on existing traffic sources. So if you're already on Google, if you're already doing SEO, organic traffic, don't look into adding another advertising platform during a recession because you might end up wasting a lot of extra money trying to figure things out where you could just have been putting that budget into what was already working, like organic traffic or maybe just Google ads alone. This is where a lot of e-commerce owners go wrong. When things start to dwindle with one ad platform, they go crazy and they go from one platform to the next, they end up wasting a lot of budget. So really hone down, really focus on what's working the best. But in addition, while you're doing that, you should be focusing on reducing your unnecessary expenses. And no, your advertising expense is not an unnecessary expense, it's a necessary expense. Get that right, because a lot of e-commerce store owners, they think it's unnecessary, so they start cutting off their ad spend and their brand starts going down this massive hill down the drain where it's very hard to recover from. So in order to prevent that from happening in the first place, don't lower your advertising expense, keep it as it is, but rather lower your other expenses. In fact, you should be putting more in advertising right now than ever before. But in addition, while you're doing that, focus on what sets you apart. Maybe your Google Ads campaigns before were working well because you had unique product images, or maybe your pricing was very competitive, or your product style was much different than your competitors. Focus on what stood you out from the rest and do more of that for more of your products while adding more products to your brand. So in addition, you could think of this as adding more income streams to your brand. You could add more products, you could add more categories within your niche, or you could just, try different things out. Like, for example, one thing that really works well during a time period like this is adding affiliate trial-based offers. So let's say you sell, for example, toothbrush, and there's a non-competitive brand out there which sells toothpaste, and you want to partner up with that brand to create this strategic alliance where on your brand now, along with your toothbrush, you're gonna upsell that toothpaste as an ongoing trial basis. Maybe like you send them that toothpaste every month or so automatically, and it's just like this ongoing income stream for you. And best part of all, you don't have to fulfill that order. It's your other non-competitive alliance member that you just made a strategic alliance with that takes care of that order. So now you're associated with that brand. If that brand is famous, you get a lot of their traffic as well. So this is really working the best. It's a good way to add extra income in during a recession period like this. Just start strategic alliances with non-competitive brands out there. And you can do other things as well. Introduce some kind of monthly payment product out there that you can offer. Maybe a monthly magazine that you can charge your customers for, anything like that. Anything that can get you that ongoing recurring income during a recession period like this. But in addition, never forget to add new products during a recession. It becomes so much more important for you to continuously add more and more products, because again, whatever is used to sell in the past may not sell right now during a recession. Maybe now people prefer to find cheaper alternatives, cheaper kind of products. You want to go out there and source cheaper alternatives, cheaper products, so that you can sell them for cheaper prices and continue getting sales. Because the worst thing you can do is just try to sell what used to work in the past. Maybe it was a very high quality product where people right now don't have the money to afford it. So really keep that in mind, really do all of these things, because I know I'm doing this not only for my own e-commerce brands, but also for my clients' e-commerce brands under my Google Ads agency, Your Marketing, which if you're currently doing $30,000 or more per month in revenue, you need a little bit of extra help scaling to the next level. Go out to my website at yourmarketing.com and book a free call with me to see how we can possibly work together and make that happen. But if you found any type of value in this video, destroy that like button, destroy that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.